and take up application questions here. So we'll begin with question number 4, which is a rectangle has area of x to the power of 4 minus 16 and the width of x minus 2. Determine an expression for length of the rectangle. So we know that area is length times width, right? So length basically will be area divided by width, right? So in our case, we are given area as x to the power of 4 minus 16 and the width is x minus 2. So we need to find length. We'll factor this, right? We can factor this with difference of squares. See, this could be written as x square whole square minus 4 square, correct? So that is what you need to factor using difference of squares. So we get this as x square minus 4 times x square plus 4, and the denominator here is x minus 2. Now x square minus 4 can be further factored, so you could write this as x plus 2 times x minus 2, and the term which is not factorable is x square plus 4 divided by x minus 2. Now you can simplify by crossing x minus 2, so you get this answer here as x plus 2 times x square plus 4. So we have to find an expression for length. So that is the expression for length. You may leave it at this stage, but this is simple to expand also. So in that case, I'll advise you to expand this. We get x cubed plus 4x plus 2x squared plus 8, right? Now rearrange this to write your final answer, which is the length is equal to x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8, right? So that becomes our answer. Now the units are not given here. Sometimes the units are also given. You need to include the units, right? So we have answer, and that is length is equal to x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8. Question number 5 now. The base of a triangle is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 divided by x squared minus x minus 12, and the height is x squared minus x minus 2 divided by 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. Find the area in the simplest form. State any restrictions. So in this case, area of a triangle is what? It is half of base times height. So we could write this area as half of, so say base of the triangle is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 over x squared minus x minus 12 times height, which is this expression, x squared minus x minus 2 over 2x squared minus 5x plus 2, correct? So now we need to factor this so that the common terms can be simplified. Now to factor, let's do these terms separately. So we'll factor 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. We're looking for a product of minus 6, sum of 5. So we could write this as 6 and 5 you can get with 3 and 2, right? Sorry, because this is minus and that is plus. So 6 and 1 will work, right? So we have to write this as plus 6x minus x minus 3. We can take 2x common and we get, square. So we get x plus 3. We can take minus common to get x plus 3. And so it can be factored as x plus 3 times 2x minus 1, correct? The other term is with 2x squared minus 5. We'll do this one also, which is 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. So 4 is the product, sum is minus 5, both can be taken as negative. So we get 2x squared minus 4x minus x plus 2. Common 2x, we get x minus 2 and minus x minus 2. So we get x minus 2 times 2x minus 1, right? So we have factored them separately. Now we'll write them in the expression and calculate. So 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 can be written as x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. This product of minus 12 and sum of minus 1, 4 and 3, 4 will be negative, right? X squared product of minus 2, sum of minus 1, 2 times 1, 2 negative. This we did here, we get x minus 2 times 2x minus 1. Now cancel the terms which are common. Correct? So we have 2x minus 1 also getting cancelled. And x plus 3 is also getting cancelled. Okay. So what we get here is in the numerator we have x plus 1. In the denominator we have 2 times x minus 4. Correct? So that becomes the area of the triangle in unit square, let me write. Right, that's the area. And now let's write down the state restrictions. We need to write restrictions. So x is not equal to what? So start with the original one. So x cannot be 4 minus 3. It cannot be 2 and half. Correct? So these are the 4 restrictions which we have to write. So I hope this is absolutely clear. Right? Let's take up the next question, which is one of the most interesting questions in this test paper. The question here is, state 2 rational expressions in factored form with integer coefficients, simplifies to 3x minus 1, x minus 5 as a product. The restrictions, x is not equal to 5, which is there, not equal to minus 1 over 3, minus 1 over 4, and 0. Unique numerators and denominators. That means we should not write just common terms here. And we have to write 2 rational expressions, right? So that is important. Sometimes you may just write 1 and lose half the marks, right? So first thing is we have to write 2 expressions. Now let us try to understand how do we incorporate these restrictions. Now these restrictions imply what? Let me write down the factors. So we need a factor x minus 5. We need a factor which should be 3x plus 1. And for this we need a factor which is 4x plus 1. And for this we need a factor which is 0. Correct? I mean x, right? So these are the factors which should be there in your expression. So let me write down the first one. So let's write down the first expression, right? So the first expression I'm writing as, we need 3x minus 1. Okay, so we'll write like this. 3x minus 1 in the numerator, and in the denominator we have all these terms. X minus 5 times 3x plus 1 times 4x plus 1, and let's multiply this with x. So we have incorporated all these restrictions. But see, these 3 terms are in addition, right? So we have to write a numerator also. So basically, we have to somehow cancel these 3 terms. Correct? We have to cancel these 3 terms. How could you do it? That is the great question, right? So one way could be, we can multiply this x with that or with this, right? So the alternate method is we will multiply first with 3x plus 1 here and this x with this term. So we get 4x squared plus x. Now note, it says unique numerator and denominators, none are same. Now we have written this as same. Do you see that? So that doesn't really work out. Therefore, we'll write this expression not as this. This is not our answer. But you see 3x minus 1 times 3x plus 1 is difference of squares. So we could write this as 9x squared minus 1. Do you see that? Times 4x squared plus x over all this, which is x times x minus 5 times 3x plus 1 times 4x plus 1. Does it make sense to you? Correct? So that becomes one of our solutions. Now we have to write 2, right? So let's write down the second one. So for the second one, I'm not going to do major variation. I'll just take few terms from here, write them on the numerator side. So I'll write this as now x times, we'll maintain 9x squared minus 1 times, we'll write this as 4x plus 1 in the numerator. This has finally to cancel out, right? And in the denominator, we'll have x minus 5 times 3x plus 1 times, I'll write this as 4x squared plus x. Does it make sense to you? So these two rational functions, they will simplify to 3x minus 1 over x minus 5. And both of them will have the required restrictions. Is this part clear to you? Perfect. So I hope this is absolutely clear. Feel free to write a comment, share your views. And with that, we come to an end of this excellent test paper. And I hope that really helps. So if you have questions, write them in comments. Thanks for your time and all the best.